Why do you run? Good question. It's hard to explain why a reasonably sane person would get up at 4 in the morning, drive an hour or more to their destination, pay good hard-earned money to put themselves through something that is both physically and emotionally demanding, with absolutely no chance in hell of coming in first place. At least I don't have a chance. Running 13.1 or 26.2 miles seems impossible to most people. After all, less than 1% of the population will ever finish a marathon. But to someone who loves to run, it's our chance to impose our will, test our limits, and persevere. I run because 21 years ago and 80 pounds heavier, that's me. At age 37, I realized I had a decision to make. Accept a sedentary life of ease and complacency, or do something to change my life. I chose change. Under an unspeakable lapse in judgment, I ran a marathon. It changed me forever. Other than marrying my wife, it's the best decision I ever made. I run because of the look on my wife's face the first time I ran a marathon. And her words were full of confidence and encouragement, but the look on her face was the same look you give a puppy when it's about to run into the street. It's true. I run because of my father. He's had 3 heart attacks, and I don't want one. My father has a form of muscular dystrophy. His mobility is limited. He has a difficult time just walking and literally cannot run. Throughout my life, he has shown me many examples of how he never quit. No matter what, you got the job done. It's those values that gave me the strength to drag my carcass across the finish line in my first marathon. I run to spend time with my wife, chiseling out an hour or 2 of uninterrupted time, away from the TV, telephone, email, Twitter, text, Facebook. Just me and her talking, or getting lost in the rhythmic sounds of our footfalls on a gravel road. I run for the excitement and energy I feel standing in a crowd of my fellow runners before a race. I look at their faces. Some have the same look an axe murderer has just before he swings. Others are calm and stoic, filled with a sense of resolve and purpose. And others, like my wife, jump, clap, and whoop loudly, jacked up with excitement. I run because people say you're crazy. They say it's too hard on your body. Training takes too much time. Aren't you worried about injuries? I say sure, but I also worry about heart disease, cancer, obesity, and diabetes. I'll take the trade-off. That's how you feel some days. I run because of the pride I felt when I watched my wife cross the finish line to complete her fastest half marathon. Just 2 years before, it seemed an unattainable goal. But through hard training, blisters, and blood-soaked shoes, she conquered a challenge. She never gave up. She never quit. She did have blood-soaked shoes. I run because I like being that guy in the neighborhood. You know who I'm talking about. He runs after dark with a headlamp, in the snow, the cold, the layers of clothes. Nothing seems to stop him. You say he's mentally irregular? I say I like the challenge. I run because after a race, I get a t-shirt. I get a medal and a celebration dinner, a cold beer, juicy hamburger, and french fries. Beer. I get this meal because I earned it. And you don't got to buy a lot of t-shirts. I run to clear my head. Running is like an eraser on the chalkboard of life. It gives me time to think, contemplate the ups and downs of life, to have solitude and peace. Running is good for the soul. I run because when I'm done, I feel better than I did before the run. Not physically, but mentally and spiritually. When I cross the finish line, I see my wife waiting there. And her eyes filled with pride, her arms ready to give me a hug. I say, thank you to God for a good run. I run to inspire others. Get off the couch and get out the door. I recently ran into an acquaintance of mine, and I didn't recognize him. I thought to myself, who's this guy? Then a light bulb went on. It was Jeff, only he was 120 pounds lighter. He told me he decided to take a page out of my book. He started to exercise and eat right. That's an incredible thing to hear. I run to see nature. Bobcats, deer, fishers, eagles, turkey, vultures, and badgers. I run to feel that adrenaline punch to your chest when a black bear crosses the road right in front of you. Then watch as my wife has a case of the vapors as he lumbers by. I didn't see Bigfoot. I run to overcome physical challenges. Legs that turn to chum. side aches, oxygen depletion, sweat by the gallons and calf cramps. I run to punish that damn little voice in my head that says, stop, you don't need to do this, relax, eat chips, drink beer. This is too hard, let's hit the couch and watch some TV. I impose my will and shut him up. I run to raise money to find a cure for Parkinson's disease, which took my grandfather. Others choose to run to raise money for their own causes. Cancer, diabetes, obesity, or funds for a club or organization. No matter the reason, find one and run. I run because it brings my wife and I closer together. I enjoy our talks before a race, the excitement, the strategizing, the anticipation. I enjoy our talks after the race, our times, how our bodies ate, the technicalities of the course, the crazy things we saw, and the people we met. Sometimes it's crazy people and the things we saw. I run to persevere, to continue on, to prove to myself I can do it, to move forward in spite of obstacles. That is what running is. Tap into that pioneering of our spirit of our forefathers. Discard our modern comforts and test ourselves on a run. Don't just wonder if you can do things, actually do them. Run, skydive, whitewater raft, or do a polar plunge. Live life. I run because when it's my time to leave this earth, I'm going to skid in sideways, used up, wore out, and ready to go. There's no good reason to bury a perfectly good body. Remember this, when it comes time to die, don't discover you haven't lived.